What's up? This is Bam Margera, and you're watching The Awkward Side Hug.
Guys, boys.
All right, let's do this.
Yeah, set us off, Lex.
What's this podcast called again? What's up? My name's Lex. That's Steven. This is Brian. On the bottom, I believe, or I don't know where he is at his screen.
I'm on the right. Well, I guess it's on Steven's screen where it matters today. Where we all have on your screen, Steven.
So, Brian, I'm in the top right. Brian's next to me, and Lex is in the bottom middle.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. But the important part is that this is the Awkward Side Hug podcast, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
From what I remember.
Yeah. We're back. We took our off-season break. We got caught up in a scandal of like wearing buzzers during podcasts, but we'll get to that later.
But the podcast committee can't confirm that?
Yeah, podcast can't confirm that. So, yeah, so.
All right. So
I look like I just woke up. Did you guys just wake up?
No. I woke up about a couple hours ago.
Damn. Yeah. Okay. Insomnia. Yeah. So it is my fault today then.
Yeah. So.
I actually had breakfast today.
Yeah, I had some breakfast too.
Yeah.
I even had a Coke.
Yes, I had a Dr. Pepper. So.
I just have the usual.
It's been a good morning. A good morning.
So, are you nervous going into? So, I guess we'll break the fourth wall. The Chiefs play at 12 today. Are you nervous at all, Steven? Before we get started?
Yeah, I'm very nervous. Very, very nervous. This is the same position we were in last year, except we were going up against the Patriots last year, but one game away from the Super Bowl. So,
do you think anybody's gonna get Derrick Henry stiff arm today?
Yeah, I think a few people will get Derrick Henry stiff arm today. If our offense is clicking, I don't think the Titans can put up as many points as we can, and that's gonna be like what boosts us over the edge. I know our defense has been playing better, but I don't think our defense is out of the four defenses that are left. I don't think ours is probably the worst. Out of the Green Bay Packers, the San Francisco 49ers, and the Tennessee Titans, I think ours is probably the worst. And it's not that bad, but
let's get a prediction before and see if it lives up next week.
Yeah, let's see how this prediction ages.
Is there a prediction to see if we'll have another episode next week? Or?
If I'll be alive next week. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna say 32-28.
Chiefs.
Got to go home team.
32 is a random number. I respect that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 31-21. Nope. 24-21 Titans.
Ooh. I'm gonna go 28-21 Chiefs.
All right, I'm writing this down.
Okay.
Dang, one of us is gonna be right as far as the team at least, because we both Brian picked Titans. And
what about the Packers and the Niners?
I think the Packers are gonna win.
Dude, I think the Packers are gonna win too.
31-21. I'll go back to my original number in the other game and then just give that one to the Packers, because I think if the Packers can find a rhythm on offense, they're a little bit more deadly, because the 49ers are entirely reliant on their defense and their running game. But the running game hasn't been as good in the last probably like 5 to 6 weeks.
I'm going to go 28-24 Green Bay.
I'm going to go 17-14 49ers. I think the Niners are going to pull it off.
Again, someone will be right.
Yeah. People could just Google it right now once this episode comes out. They're like, look, it's like 50-51. Like,
I don't need to listen to the first 5 minutes of this podcast.
We're Astrodamus, dude.
Yeah, basically. So what do we got on topic for the first topic of the day?
Well, since we're talking about sports, I think we should stick with that and talk about these Astros, huh?
Ooh, yes.
This is an interesting one, because I know I'm probably going to come into it kind of objectively, and you guys kind of have a dog in the fight in this situation. So this is going to be. I don't expect this to get heated, but I feel like I might tickle the wrong feathers.
My veins popping out right now.
I have no idea if that's even an expression.
Tickle your feathers.
Hey, are those the right feathers or are those the wrong ones?
Brian's
Tickle people's feathers.
yeah, Brian's dabbling in some dark arts, fam. some wild stuff there.
So
That's the school he works at, Hogwarts.
Yeah.
so
You're a wizard.
does anyone want to start or should?
Oh,
I think- yeah, Brian, you can start.
What are the facts? So let's maybe go over the facts. Like I think
Yes.
we all have some informations, but maybe some
Informations.
some of our viewers probably maybe don't know what happened.
Mhm.
So the Astros won the World Series 2 years ago. They were in the World Series this year. They lost to the Nationals. I'm really going off a limb on that.
Yeah,
because
yeah. It sounds about right. I don't know.
I totally forgot right now. All right.
Yeah.
So
I completely forgot.
they've been accused of cheating. They've been accused of having video technology and all that on how to steal pitching signs. There was rumors that the jerseys had buzzers in them. The MLB recently confirmed that there's no evidence toward that. Doesn't mean they did or they did not. It's just there's no evidence that there was. But they suspended the head coach of the Astros and the GM for a year. Then the owner recently fired them. Alex Cora got fired from the Red Sox. And why was he related to that again?
I think he was part of the staff or something.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I was like, was he a player?
I think
He
he was
wasn't
part
a
of the coaching staff.
He was
Okay.
part of the coaching staff, yeah.
Carlos Beltran, who was a player, though, I think in the first one, right?
Oh, yeah, yep.
He recently got hired to be the Mets manager, and before he even coached his first game, they fired him.
Hmm.
And then there's a lot of rumors that, like, you know, this is going to ruin, like, all their Hall of Fame stuff because, you know, Mark McGuire and Barry Bonds and all them have had tough times and stuff like that. Pete Rose was another example.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. And so that's basically it. The players, at the end of it, the players are not being held responsible as of right now, and the Astros championship still technically counts. So, what are your guys' takes?
I guess you can't blame you, Darvish, huh?
Yeah, right, exactly. The whole thing during the World Series that year is that he was tipping his pitches or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe he was tipping the switches.
I know,
maybe.
right?
Yeah, they just like, hey, shut down the video. I was doing it for
Well,
us.
that's what I'm saying. Like maybe he wasn't intentionally tipping them, but I mean, they obviously had video evidence of.
No, they turned that shit off.
They turned off all the buzzers and monitors. You know what? We got this guy. Let's just
Hey, we got this. Let's finish it off.
exactly. They used nothing for Game 7. But yeah, I guess supposedly they were finding evidence of games during the regular season too. When Evan Gaddis was up. I don't know why. Like I kind of looked at Brian. Like, yeah, you know, our boy Evan Gaddis is because we use him in the video game. Like that we drafted him.
So every couple weeks, I go to Lex's house and we play the show on his PS4.
Yeah, the 2018 one from like 3 years ago.
We did a fantasy draft, and Evan Gaddis is our starting catcher, and he's absolute garbage. But
He's not doing too well right now.
but our backup catcher's not better, so
Yeah.
we just deal with it.
Yeah, so that's what we've been dealing with over the past month. It's been a rough month, but
You guys
Yeah,
started
so,
tipping pitches or what?
yeah, basically, yeah.
I've been trying to figure out how to get that technology going on the franchise mode.
Yeah, because the 2K18 or the 18 of MLB The Show on PS4, that's the one where like the opening sequence, the intro video package is the Astros winning the World Series. So and then Steven was like, "Oh, is there like a mode on there where you could like have buzzards under your shirt or something like that?" Or, like, the hallway monitors. But yeah, so like during the regular season, back in real life, during that Astros championship run season, Evan Gaddis was up to bat, and they have like I don't know if they have multiple video evidence pieces of evidence to look at, but one for sure is where every time the pitcher threw a fastball right before the pitcher started his windup, you would hear a loud like kendo stick bang on like the dugout like pole or something like that. And then when it was like a off speed pitch, it was two
kendo
two
sticks,
taps of the it was like Steve Blackman, but but yeah, and then like sure enough, it was a fastball every time it was one hit, and it was a off speed pitch every time it was two taps like in the dugout.
Two taps.
So I got a question, and you guys might know the answer to this. Was this technology used at away games at all? Were they able to figure something out, or was it only home games?
I don't know. That's a good
Because
question.
one of the things I was going to throw out there to you guys is because a lot of people are like, I'd be on the same boat too, as in considering vacating the championship. Like, should it go to the Dodgers? Technically, no, but it should it be vacated? That's a discussion that should happen. But I was wondering because the Astros did win 2 road games to win that World Series. So I was like, did they have the technology for those?
Well, okay, so as far as the buzzer argument, do you remember if no, I think Jose Altuve's walk-off home run in like the championship series against the Yankees, that was at Houston, right? In Houston, I think.
I think it was like, yeah, I think I saw
Off
the video.
Adonis Chapman.
It was a white jersey, so I'm sure it was at home.
Yeah. Never mind. That was at home. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know if they did it on the during the away game.
Because like I guess from the Astros perspective, they could be like, yeah, technically we were cheating, but we weren't cheating in these specific games, and we still get World Series wins.
Yeah. Yeah, it sucks because I feel
it makes
like
it okay.
I know, right? Yeah.
Well, we didn't cheat away, but
well, it's another thing too. So like another thing that I was gonna throw out there
because there was that one game, I don't remember if it was game 3 or game 4 that went into extra innings.
Yeah.
And they just kept going back and forth with home runs.
Yup, exactly.
I think it was in Houston, but like, things like that.
Yeah, Houston went 2-1. I did some research for this, so I don't sound stupid. But Houston went 2-1 in home during the World Series, and they went 2-3 on the road. What I was gonna throw out there though is I don't know if you guys heard this story, but there's a lot of whistleblowing apparently now going on, and Tony La Russa, the famous Cardinals manager, when he used to manage the White Sox in the 80s, they one of his old pitchers said that he had technology and video stuff that was able to steal pitching signs back then as well. So like when this story came out too, one of the things I was wondering, like, is this an MLB thing and the Astros just happen to get caught? Or is it?
I think so. This can't be the first time that someone's stolen signs.
That's what I was wondering too.
And done it, productively.
Well, people have been stealing signs forever. Like, but it's usually like the oldest trick in the book is when you have a runner on second base and they could see the pathway to the catcher's signs, or whatever, and they kind of like remember the sign. But you'd have to have a runner on second.
Right.
And I think Brandon and I can tell you that's pretty hard. We've played MLB The Show before. And
we did not play small ball.
we just go for the fences every time. But yeah, dude, it just kind of sucks because like Brian hit it on the head there with the feather in the dark. But either way, like the conversation is, should the Astros be stripped of the title? But yeah, there's no real argument that the Dodgers should get it either, and I don't think they should. And it just sucks.
That's a pity win.
Yeah, it just sucks because if they didn't steal the signs, maybe the Dodgers, like as good as we were playing that year, we probably would have won in like less than 7 games.
And
just because of how close all the games were. But
and me and Steven could probably agree to this, and even Lex, like we would all like to have careers in athletics somehow, regardless of who's coaching or something like that. So like what I'm about to say, I hope doesn't tarnish that. But it's I understand from the perspective, like I don't condone cheating, but I do understand as a coach, you're trying to come up with ways to have a competitive advantage. And maybe this might sound weird, maybe not, but if this has been going on since the 80s with like Tony La Russa, who's considered one of the better managers of all time, it might be for someone like Hinch, who I don't know who Hinch was before he joined the Astros, right? Like he might have not known that this was going to be so considered cheating if it was something that maybe all the other teams were doing.
Yeah,
he was just trying to get a competitive advantage Like at home games, we get the advantage. On away games, we just have to outplay the other team, kind of thing.
Mhm.
But I don't know. It's an interesting story. It's an interesting thing going on. I think we're gonna hear a lot of things going on. Maybe the players will start getting some consequences.
Some
I don't
updates,
know.
yeah.
We'll
We'll
just have
see
to
what
wait and
happens.
see.
Yeah. So I believe we have a nice fourth mic question for the entire year of 2019. Since this is our first episode back, 2020, new season, new us, new buzzards under our jerseys.
The buzzer lets us know when we have to change topics.
Yeah, it's like
or when I'm pissing Lex off. Like, I feel like that'd bug me if I was batting.
I know, right? Yeah. Oh, that's wild.
No, so what are some lessons you learned in 2019?
Yes, fourth my question. Biggest lesson learned from 2019. Steven, do you wanna start this one off?
No.
Okay. So Brian, do you want me to
I'm trying to think of something while you guys are talking.
Yeah, I have that was like
It's
'cause
like
for me-
lessons, like obviously our lives change. Like
Yeah,
Steven's
yeah.
life obviously changed, but I don't know if it's like a lesson learned or more so that you had to just adapt to the new change.
Mhm. Or maybe
I
the
don't-
change brought out some lessons.
Right. Like I don't know. Like I guess it's I don't know. This is
New year, say me.
yeah, it's like obviously things are different and changing, and
Yeah.
yeah, I probably learned some things, but it's difficult to just simply answer like what are some lessons learned.
Yeah,
It's
because no, I hear you. Because for me, there wasn't any one particular lesson of 2019 that taught me like too much or anything too important. But because a lot of 2019 for me was a huge year, but it's because I already had so many things set in motion from years prior. So I guess I don't know. I guess just patience, and just sticking to your goals. You know.
I guess one of the
I guess that would be like the biggest one for me because
Yes.
a lot of it paid off school wise and work wise too. So I'm super happy about that.
yeah, I don't know. Like I guess a lesson I learned is just because you think you're doing things maybe the right way doesn't mean that's how things are supposed to go.
Mm-hmm.
Like I finished, but this happened technically in 18, but I got my bachelor degree in 18.
Mm-hmm.
And then technically at the end of 19, I just finished my master's. But just because I've done all that and I accomplished that does not mean it's necessarily going to help me unless I put the work in. Like, and I did kind of maybe go into it with this idea that this stuff's going to be my resume and my resume is going to speak for itself. But then it's like, no, I still need to do some of the little things too if I want to get somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Brian's getting buzzed right now.
yeah.
Too personal. Too personal.
What about you, Steven?
Lessons learned.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I learned any lessons. I guess my mentality changed
Mm-hmm.
on what I want for myself. But that I think comes with being a dad.
Yeah.
Your
Because-
view on things change.
Is it perspective?
I think from the question, which I don't know if this was intended, but if you think about lessons learned means that you learned something off of a lesson. So yeah, maybe 2019 gave us lessons, but it doesn't mean we necessarily learned anything from them.
Yeah.
So
I guess if I had to say one thing I learned, it's okay to be selfish. And when I say selfish, I'm like in my instance, like now I have a family, and so like
Mhm.
I put my family first. You know, my immediate family, my wife, my son.
going back to that, yeah, I guess one of the lessons I did learn, I was like, oh well, now I can answer the question. Is I've learned that technically you can't when you have emotions, your emotions are not right or wrong, and you're allowed to have emotions and stuff like that.
Yeah, emotions are
So like if you're pissed, it's okay to be pissed because you can't get mad at being pissed.
Mhm.
right.
Like it's just like
Yeah.
you're upset in that moment.
I think once you learn to accept your emotions, then you can kind of learn to, I don't want to say manipulate them, but you understand them more, I guess.
Right.
And then you can kind of like come to a conclusion of, okay, this is why I feel the way I feel.
Yeah.
So,
And
then sometimes you when you really dive in that deep, you kind of realize like, oh man, that's kind of stupid. Why do I feel like this?
Yeah.
So,
That's funny. 2020 heartfelt Ash Pod.
so I'm gonna make a note here. We're definitely gonna keep track of things we learned this year.
Oh, for 2020, right? That's a good one. Yeah.
I learned the Astros cheated in baseball.
And I think just for our first show back, I believe we do have one last topic for you guys. And speaking of pissed and emotions, there's a new album that dropped recently randomly a few days ago.
So how offended do you think Leto's going to be that we asked him to do this with us and he's not here?
I don't think he'll be too offended.
I think we can still get him on. Maybe we can do like a little Instagram thing
That's
for
true.
him.
That's true.
Because he had some good. I'll tell you this, guys. Leto is a whole different person on Modern Warfare than he is on Fortnite.
Is he really?
Really?
Like Leto does.
Is it more of a confidence thing?
Yeah, he's just more fun to play with in Modern Warfare than he is in Fortnite. Because like in Modern Warfare, like we're just having a good time, we're laughing. You know, he's talking shit to.
Is it because the wins don't really count too much there?
Well, I mean, yeah, we win a lot more in there than we do.
It's a lot more fast paced too.
Yeah.
Right.
Because yesterday, like we were doing, 3-on-3, so it was me, Lito, and my brother, and then we were, playing another 3 people, and they're little small maps. But I mean, we went on like a 20 win streak because each game there's rounds, and if you win 6 rounds, you win the match, and so we just kept winning matches over and over and over again.
I got Steven the other day told me to buy Call of Duty, and then he got off. And I'm glad I didn't buy it, because if I bought it and then he was off, I would have been really pissed.
If Brian would have said, "Hey, I have Call of Duty," I would have got back on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would have told your homies, "Hey, I'm glad you came over, but Brian's got Call of Duty."
I got Call of Duty. I made Brian buy it. I got to play at least 3 games with him.
They came over to watch football, and you're just there. They're just watching you play Call of Duty on the headset, ignoring them.
I've done that once. Fortnite.
That's tight. I respect that. That's how you got me into Fortnite, actually. I don't know why. For whatever reason, I came over and to Corona. I'm just kidding. No, but I forgot why I was over. It might have been the football podcasters. I don't know. For whatever reason, I came over
to record.
Yeah, and then I don't know if it got canceled or if we ended early, but Steven was like, "Oh, you want to play some Fortnite?" I was like, "Oh, sure." And like I was just watching Steven play Fortnite, and I was like, "Yeah, I've heard of this game before." And then like right away after the first game, he's like, "Oh yeah, you want to go back to play?" I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like,
I was super anti Fortnite, and then all of a sudden, Lex told me to play, and I played 1 game, and I was like, I can see why this is gets addicting.
Dude, it's addicting.
Fun.
Because you get to the point where the wins matter, I think, when you play Fortnite.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like in Call of Duty, I feel like the stats matter.
Exactly. That's a perfect way to put it.
Well, you still get a win-loss ratio, so wins do matter.
Right, but I feel like.
But like you said, it's a stat.
Yeah. So we have just a few minutes, so let's get into this Eminem thing. Yeah, it's just like it's a good Eminem album. If you're an Eminem fan, it's really good. But it's not like there's nothing on there that's as good as any of his classic songs.
But I think you gotta take it with a grain of salt. It's like Kanye West. Like he never puts out the same thing, and like Eminem right now is in a different. I don't know. He's not making the same music, obviously, he made when he first came out, or like at the peak of his career.
Me and Lex were talking about it, and we were saying like, I'm not saying it because some of those lines he uses toward it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But me and Lex were saying that it doesn't sound like he raps with the same amount of confidence as he used to. And I think it's people have been criticizing a lot of his work lately, and he feels like he has something to prove. But I'm like, you're one of the best rappers of all time. You have nothing to prove. Just make music that you want to make. Because if you listen to his old stuff, there's a certain level of confidence. Lex said uses wording like he owned his words, even if it was the same style of rapping. So.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of these new albums, he's not really owning every single word he says. I did enjoy a lot of his like newer stuff though, as opposed to everyone's just like hating on it just because he's Eminem now, still trying to rap for whatever reason. Like people will just hate just because he releases a new album, right? But for this one, I'm not gonna lie, it's like 20 tracks. I thought 5 of them, maybe 4 or 5 were pretty dope. One of them was really dope, but that's out of 20 tracks. You know what I mean? And that's off first or second listen. Yeah, I didn't think it was that good. He's still obviously talented though. It's just
there's a lot of songs on there. Like, I'm not saying there's a bad song on there, but none of them really have replay value to me.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be totally okay if I never go back and listen to the album again. And that's usually where I figure out how good an album is.
Yeah.
Like, and to me, that's the middle. It's like, there's bad albums, there's albums you'll never want to listen to again just because you don't feel like you have to, and then there's albums that you feel like you have to constantly listen to because they're that good.
Mm-hmm.
And Eminem's last few albums are in that little middle. Like, there's just like, you listen to them once and you're okay with that.
Mm-hmm. So our first listen, just since we got about a minute left, what would you guys give this album out of 5 awkward?
5, yeah, out of 5 side hugs. I want to make that a new thing.
Out of 5 side hugs.
A new rating system?
Yeah.
Honestly, I liked Kamikaze a little more. And I feel like because he kind of went in a little more, and that was kind of a little bit like old Eminem. Like, I don't care what people say. And yeah, this one, yeah. I mean,
I give it a low 3, maybe a high 2.
I was gonna say, yeah, I'd give it 3 side hugs.
I would give it as much. Dude, I'm like the biggest Eminem fan ever.
That's debatable.
Our good buddy Daniel would call me an Eminem apologist, but
well, I still think he's one of the best rappers of all time. It's kind of like that.
Definitely.
Tom Brady. Tom Brady might not have had the best game or the best season, but he's still one of the best of all times. This season's not going to change that.
Yeah.
But it does maybe start bringing that into question, though. If he makes 16 albums and his last 8 are average and his first 8 are good, then you say, like, no. But
yeah, I think I see where Steven was getting, though. Lito's probably the biggest Eminem fan ever.
Yeah.
I'm probably the second biggest. But I would probably have to give it 2 side hugs out of 5, to be honest.
So I'm just nice.
So as a total, what is that, like a 2.77 or something? I don't know, man.
If someone could average that out for us, that would be awesome. But yeah, this was
out of 5.
Out of 5, yeah. Out of 5.
Brian's 2.
No, I gave him 3. It's a low 3.
3. Me a 3, and then Lex a 2.
2, yeah. It's like 2.66. No.
So that would be 8 out of 15.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that is in fractions.
It's a 2 point repeating 6.
Okay.
2.66. Yeah.
So as a podcast, we gave it a 2.6.
2.6 out of 5 side hugs.
Okay.
It's not bad.
It's actually going to be on his Kamikaze 2 album.
I know. Yeah. Look what I'm planning. Brian, Lex, and Steven.
All right. So.
I'm kind of wrecking people.
Steven needs to go watch the Chiefs let him down. So
good luck to the Chiefs. You got our Rams support.
Do I picked the Titans.
I know, yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're right, bro.
I'm like super into this Tannehill story. This is the only thing that's kind of like getting me. I'm pretty sure Steven would feel the same if he didn't have to play the Chiefs. But this Tannehill story is pretty cool. So yeah.
But yeah, so first episode back, 2020, new season, new us. Yeah, so we'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, I was like, what?
2 weeks.
All right.
All right then. Awkward.